In today's video, we're going to look at 20 mistakes you might be doing in your health and wellness business and how to fix them to save yourself a lot of headaches, generate a lot more revenue than you are now, and avoid some of the common pitfalls that might bankrupt your business. If you're new to the channel, my name is Simeon Krastev, and I've been in the industry for over a decade, owning 4 locations, exiting my last one, and now sharing tips, tricks, and lessons I'm learning when it comes to growing health and wellness businesses. And let's jump straight in. First, we have the biggest pitfall of all, which is naming our offers too vaguely and incorrectly. And often I see health and wellness business owners not spending enough time on crafting a compelling offer without realizing that's the major predictor of their success, both through SEO and having their offer on the website, also when it comes to creating content or doing call outs on social media, or even running paid advertising. The offer is the single most important thing within your business, and you got to treat it as such. But often I see business owners naming their offer as something generic, such as the ultimate transformation package or weight loss program, which of course is not bad. It gives you some hint of what it is all about. But if you want to be successful in the modern day marketplace where there's a lot more competition, a lot more noise, a lot more local businesses even fighting for the competition, and online there's thousands of trainers offering what you have to offer, you got to be granular and you got to niche down with your offer and be very specific. So you got to be clear, you got to be time bound, and you got to appeal to the ideal target demographic you want to go after. So just as an example, it could be a 28-day fat loss bootcamp for women or a 28-day fat loss bootcamp for corporate women. That would be the ideal name of an offer that would appeal to the target audience and that would stand out a lot more. And you'd be surprised that it would generate a lot cheaper leads than your generic offer. Number 2, we have using only discounts to attract members. This is something that we often see, especially when we start working with a brand new owner. The first thing that they want to run as an offer on social media is a discount to their service, thinking that people care about 20% off or $50 off or $100 off. Discounts only work when you see value in something. If iPhone, for example, was discounted 50%, you would immediately go buy it because you know the value of the iPhone is over $1,000 and the features provide certain benefits that are worth the amount that you're going to be charged. With a service-based program, which is what we're often selling as a health and wellness operators, whether it's workouts in your physical location or an online program, people can't tell the value of your program, and therefore you got to lead with value first before you introduce the price. Therefore, we often do a consultation first approach before we give our pricing away, and we usually give them a range by introducing them the offer that could solve their problem because we have to build the value first. And yeah, sure, with a good discount, you could attract clients quickly and you can get some immediate sales boost, especially if you have existing members and they bring referrals on the special promo. But in the long run, it will cheapen your brand image. It will be perceived as desperation because now people will associate you with a lower value and a lower price because you've already done it once. So they might expect that in the future. And it's a very short-term strategy that will make it hard for you to build a business because you're not going to have enough margin to hire staff, to invest in advertising, and to build a sustainable business long-term. And it also undervalues the services because me, as a service provider, I've done that in the past. And if somebody paid me a little tiny amount of money, I don't feel incentivized to be providing the best possible service I could. And on the other hand, the clients that pay me premium, I'm going above and beyond to make sure I deliver a great service. And I know it's not a great way to frame it because we want to serve everybody ultimately, but at the end of the day, if you're in the health and wellness industry, you want to not only help others, but you want to help yourself. And you do that through delivering the highest possible outcome, which usually comes at a premium cost. And it creates customer loyalty issues, especially if people came in at a certain price and now they're seeing your discount on social media. They're kind of feeling tricked that they had to pay the premium price and now you have the same service discounted. So I don't suggest you run discount offers to attract new clients. Another thing is to not offer a variety of membership options. Some of the older facilities, especially those who've been in business since the early days of when gyms were blowing up, they kind of stick to the single membership type of pricing and they're not very flexible with what the modern day consumer wants. But nowadays there's a lot more variables at play. First, there's a lot more competition. There's a lot more people online. So instead of having a single membership, just listen to your prospects and offer a tiered membership. Maybe you have a group workout membership. Maybe you have a personal training membership. Maybe you have a couples membership. Maybe you have 2 a week, 3 a week. So you want to have multiple tiers to ideally appeal to the different needs within your market, but also have multiple price points that people can choose from. Because if you don't have a higher ticket offer and only a single membership that costs $50 $1,000 a month, it would be almost impossible for you to build a big business off of it, whether it's online or in person. Now, when it comes to running sign-up offers now without nurturing, again, I see that as a mistake, especially new clients that come to us. They have zero presence online. They haven't posted anything on their Facebook or Instagram pages for ages. That's like last post 2021, and they're hoping that they can start running ads immediately and get results, which sometimes does happen, but of course, the ads cost a lot more because there's usually no trust, no rapport. When people open up the page, they can't see any content, anything done. And you're ideally working with cold leads that are very skeptical. And even if they sign up as a lead, they're going to almost always go check your pages, go check your website, go check Google. And if there's no content or existing information about you, or you haven't provided any value to them yet, the chances of them not showing up for their appointment, not interacting with you in any way is going to be a lot higher. So that's why we want to make sure that we nurture leads prior having them commit to an appointment. Our generic outreach with no real personalization, that again is more applicable for the cold market. I see people just setting up automations that are very generic and very pretty much surface level of, oh, you sign up for my offer. When do you want to come for an appointment? It's very direct. And nowadays, people are signing up for multiple offers. They're scanning their options. They're researching online. And we're in the people's business. If you're in the health and wellness industry, you know that people are doing business with other people. And especially if you have a facility, if you as the owner or if the trainers are no good, people are not going to stick with you no matter what's your pricing, what's the offers, what are the classes, what's your equipment. So we want to make sure that we build that rapport as soon as possible. And ideally with every lead you get, you want to make sure you scan their social media, find something relevant, find something to build rapport off of. And even as an initial message, even though they sign up for a 6-week challenge or a different offer, you would want to bring that up first to build rapport. So that will ensure that more of them will show up to their appointment, actually get started with you, because now they know who they're going to be working with rather than you just blasting out the promotional messages and using scarcity tactics to get them to show up. So this could literally bury your business, bury your lead generation offers. And that's why when people say cold advertising doesn't work for them, or Facebook doesn't work, or Instagram doesn't work, it means that they haven't really done the work to make it work, because there's thousands of businesses, if not millions of businesses, that are generating new business through advertising on social media, through content, and they're doing it successfully. So it means that you just got to change. Number 6 is calling leads without building rapport. This is something similar to the previous point. But if you try to call someone out of the blue, even if they provided their contact information, especially if it's a Facebook lead form or social media, sometimes they don't know who's calling them, especially if it's an unknown number. So we like to warm prospects up through sending a warm-up message before, telling them we're going to call them, or trying to get the conversation in chat first or through text. And it helps bridge the gap, because people now understand that somebody's going to give them a call. They know the number. They know who they're going to be talking to. They know what is it related to, because sometimes in our offers, we give a surface level information to get them signed up, but we can't walk them through the entire process of why they should show up on the call, what's going to happen, how is it going to happen, and they might have some questions, and you just trying to call them immediately might scare some people off. So ideally, you want to text them first, gauge some interest, and then schedule the call. And once you conduct the warm call, which is 5 to 6 minutes just to understand their pain points and kind of walk them through the next steps, you can then schedule a successful appointment, and the chances of them showing up are much higher. Number 7 is relying on overly polished content with health and wellness businesses, and especially in the world of Instagram, where everybody has six-pack apps and these professional trainers. We try to look professional by creating Canva images, using stock images, and these amazing videos that are super polished, but it looks great and often comes inauthentic, and people on social media, especially if you're a local service-based business, can see that, and they can't even associate it with your location, because they come down and they see something completely different. They don't see it as real, and they don't know what to expect. So instead of helping you, if you put out too much of a polished content, it might actually have more harm than good for your business. So you want to have simple, raw videos of your trainers demonstrating exercises, giving tips. They're a lot more engaging and relatable. Maybe you want to do a video walkthrough of your facility that these work great again. And of course, having polished content makes you look professional, but it's inauthentic, and you're not going to get a lot of engagement and relatability, which is ultimately what you want to build your business. Number 8 is overusing high pressure sales tactics. And we're in 2025 now, and a lot of people have been accustomed to the sales strategies that different people deploy. And by having pushy sales and trying to get people to sign up now, miss out, and give in to their only types of offers doesn't work as as well as it used to because people are now accustomed to those. So instead, you should focus on educational approach through your consultations, through your appointments, because this way you're able to show prospects how you're different, how you can help them, and ultimately they'll make the decision on their own, but you're going to be the next logical option in their head and the only logical option because you're the only one that provided value. So make sure you take the trust building report first, establish credibility by showing how you can help people, how you've helped other people, educate them through the process of how you're exactly going to do it for them. And you can do that through informational content that you can send them prior to conversations you're having with them or consultations of them showing up for the appointment, but also having a visual way of walking them through the exact steps you're going to have. And by having value-driven sales process, by highlighting the program benefits and how it could help them, you don't need to rely on high-pressure tactics, and your sales ability and conversion rates are going to go so much higher. Number 9 is having a weak onboarding process. Most of service providers, they are really hyping up the sale, they're promising the world, and then when it comes to execution, they're lacking so big. They often send a generic meal plan, generic email with stuff and instructions to do. They don't really set the expectations right. They don't take the time to divide this sales call from an onboarding process, and they're just kind of hoping that the clients would start executing on the program. And the reality is that if you're in health and wellness, you're battling with many other factors besides just people giving you money, because the ultimate win would be for you to use your product. And for them to use your product, they have to fully understand it. And to fully understand it, they got to be properly onboarded and have all their questions answered. So when you're onboarding people, you want to make sure you create an experience, whether it's going to be a gym tour, goal setting session, introducing your trainers. Make them feel first like they're part of the community, but also answer all their questions. Show them the technology you're going to be using. Walk them through the program, exactly what's going to happen. What are the milestones to look for? When is their next appointment going to be at? What they should expect? What are some of the common hurdles other members experience? What are some of the successful other members and what they have done to get to that point? Ensuring that will help you have much better retention, ultimately more happy members, and a lot more referrals than you're getting right now. Number 10 is over focusing on social media ads as the only acquisition method. And I'm not going to lie, I've been guilty of that. It's been a primary traffic source for my business for a long time. And as soon as I'd stop, because I haven't built the other channels at that time, my business would dry up immediately and I would see an 80% drop. So I was on that hamster wheel where I had to create essentially ads all the time, and I would have to pay Facebook and Instagram and Google to get more visibility on my brand. And it's a hamster wheel because it's so effective. It works tremendously well. And even nowadays, that's probably the fastest way you can get more sales, more members, and more clients for your programs. But at the end of the day, you want to take the revenue you generate from paid advertising and introduce other channels. You want to start hosting referral programs, community events, invest into email marketing, invest into content, so you can diversify and build a bigger portfolio of ways to attract clients. So even if your ads get shut down, if your account gets blocked, or your ads are not working, or there's specific event happening that's preventing you from getting advertising working for you at this time, you're still going to be getting business and you're not going to overly rely on one channel because it could literally bankrupt you. Number 11 is failing to constantly evolve your service offerings, and that stagnation could kill your growth. And the marketplace is ever evolving. There's a lot more players coming in, a lot more competitors, and things are moving fast. And if you're not adapting to the trends, your clients will lose interest over time. And I have an illustration here, because like with a fish, there's a backbone of what a good offer is and what could kill potentially your business. So lack of innovation, not introducing new programs, not adapting to trends, lack of virtual classes. Especially nowadays, you got to have that. Lack of seasonal challenges, failure to engage with members, poor marketing strategies, over-relying on social media, lack of personalized outreach, ignoring competitor offerings, not monitoring industry trends, inadequate market research. This leads to stagnation in your gym, fitness studio, or even online business. So you want to make sure that you're constantly introducing new plays, because the whole industry is driven by new. That's why there's always a new diet, new way to lose weight. And at the end of the day, we as professionals know that we got to do the same old boring stuff, which is move more, eat a little bit less, be mindful about what we put in our body, get proper recovery, and the results will happen as long as we keep evolving and gradually improving and increasing the output in the gym, and also adapting our nutrition accordingly. But for the clients, that's not the case. They're always looking for a new way, new hack. And us as providers, we gotta appeal to that by offering different things and at least giving them different wrappers to even the same existing offer. Just introducing new campaign, new seasonal thing that's happening to keep their interest high and also have the opportunity to promote it to a bigger audience. Number 12 is to not delegate high leverage tasks, especially if you want to go a big three and you want to have a big business one day. You have to make sure that the foundation is right. And if you don't set up the foundation, such as refusal to delegate tasks and then focusing on low impact tasks yourself or lacking strategic hiring to fulfill functions within your business that are lacking, ultimately your tree can't grow big and large and it's not going to have a lot of branches. So making sure that you delegating the things that could be systemized, such as social media content creation or following up with members or booking appointments, or even hiring outside providers to help you out with certain aspects of your business is great because it helps you focus on the things that are most important within your organization and business, which in the beginning would be sales, and then later on would be building the community, setting out the vision, and finding the right people to run with the vision and help you execute it and expand. Number 13 is failing to create a structured learning plan for staff. And oftentimes when we're super busy with running the actual location, maybe we're doing the workouts ourselves, we're providing the service, whether it's online, in person, again, doesn't matter. We kind of have that sink or swim training mentality. We try to bring on board members to fulfill certain functions within the business, but we don't give them the proper training, hoping that just because we hire them, they will already have the expertise, they would already know what's expected of them. And sometimes that's the case, but often you have a certain vision for your business. You've been doing things a certain way, and people need to be onboarded, guided, and they need to have clear expectations of what to do, what not to do, what is a successful execution of their role. And because they're unprepared, you often face churn of people leaving. And sometimes you would be blaming them, but the reality is you as the leader of your organization, you're the one that needs to spend the time to properly onboard and properly train them. And that is time intensive and it doesn't produce revenue immediately. You have to set up the trainings, you have to nurture them, you have to spend the time to understand what are their strengths, how you can leverage them within your business. And all of that is time that you need to invest. And it might pay back and it might not pay back because you're still going to have people that would quit. You will still need to replace those roles, but that's the only way for you to grow your business. Number 14, we have selling memberships or just packages rather than building a community. And whether you're working online or in person, especially with everything going on this day and age, competitors are coming in quickly. So even if you have a super successful program, the chances are there's like 100 other people offering the exact same program as you. There's a gym down the street that offers very similar service to yours. And if you only focus on selling new people without building a community, your retention is going to suffer. And it's a lot more expensive and harder to acquire new customers rather than keep existing ones, resell them more stuff, and have more referrals from them. So you want to make sure that you spend a good portion of your time to building up demand by selling. Of course, that's the cornerstone of every business. But once you have sold enough, you want to make sure that you focus on retention, on building community generating activities, because if you don't build that community, all the new members are gonna walk into an existing business that doesn't have anything stable. And like the past members, if they're not raving fans, like the new members are gonna see that, and you're not gonna have stickiness for your service. And ultimately, that's what you want to build a big business. Over relying on guarantees rather than value and results. I see that, especially the ones with more of a marketing background, they're promising the world. And then when it comes to actual execution of the program and getting people results is where they're lacking. That's why guarantees without proof fall flat. And we want to make sure we lead with results first. You want to ensure you have a smooth client experience, that people are getting great results from your offerings. And of course, just with like any program, any package, it's not dependent on you entirely for people to get results, but you want to get the highest percentage possible of people committing to the program, getting some meaningful results, whether it's visual results or just mental or like emotional support, whatever is a positive outcome of the program. We want to measure that prior starting to push massively on social media, because you're going to start having negative results from overpromising because the word spreads out fast. And especially if you're a local service-based business, you're going to see that happening real quick. In the beginning, you're going to get tons of clients, but just like in a restaurant, for example, if the food is is no good, nobody's going to come back again. So we want to make sure that we have our services dialed in, our offering and the value and the way we deliver the value actually be covered first prior scaling. Number 16 is not creating a tiered value ladder. And what a tiered value ladder is essentially different levels of service attached to different monetary incentive for you. You might have a cheaper offer that is more of an intro offer that gives a low risk, a low barrier entry for new people to try out your services without committing either for a time frame or investing thousands of dollars with you, which give you the opportunity for you to showcase how you can help them and provide that initial win so they trust your business and are willing to invest in the other services you have. Then you would have your main offer, which could be personal training or your membership or your online coaching, where you actually monetize mainly. And these are mid-tier priced. Ideally, it's going to be recurring revenue that's coming in every month, so you have sustainability within your business. And then as members evolve within your servicing, you want to bolt on more things and offer premium packages such as high ticket package, nutrition coaching, or bolt on things that will help you generate more revenue, but also cater to the VIP members that are going to be the ones that are ready to go and have the means to pay for the best option out there on the market. And you want to, of course, monetize that. So make sure you have multiple offers. And if you're new to the channel, I have another video where I teach you how to price your offers, and I go over the diamond strategy, where we're essentially having a low ticket product, 2 mid-tier ones, and then the diamond on top, which is the higher ticket package, and how we introduce them to ensure that we get the most amount of sales and most members engaged. Number 17, we have thinking only short term, and I often see it with health and wellness business owners, which is very funny because when it comes to our body and taking care of our health, we have the long-term approach. We're, you should exercise, you should take your time, you should eat healthy, and I get it, but when it comes to building the business, we have a short-term approach. Oh, let me put the ads on. Oh, I have to have business today. Oh, I've been doing content for 1 week, I'm not getting anything in return. And if you're only thinking short-term about your business, you don't understand that as a people's business, your reputation is the biggest thing and people are watching. So if you've been doing content consistently for 3-4 months, even if you're just getting traction on month 4, the people that start on month 4, they're going to go back and watch all the content and they're going to say, oh, look at that guy, he's been doing content for a while now. And that shows them that you're a credible person. Or even with the advertising, like the first time around they see the ads, they might not join your services and products, but over time, as they get exposed to your message over and over and over again, it starts to compound and you get better results. Same goes for your current members and delivering great results for them. Same goes for referrals. So I always want to have the long-term client retention strategies in mind and the long-term brand health and building. We're in this for the long run, I hope. And that's why all of the strategies I'm sharing, even though they're not easy, they're going to build the moat that's going to make it hard for your competitors to come in and implement that. Number 18 is ignoring potential leads who aren't ready yet. This is for people who say, I'm not interested or I don't have money. We kind of leave them out hanging. And especially if you're running ads, you've paid for thousands of leads that have not materialized into either coming to your facility or even buying your services. But what you want to make sure is that you nurture those leads over time. And that could be either through content, that could be through retargeting campaigns on social media with advertising. It could be through email newsletters, which is probably the cheapest and most effective way because you're going to be providing goodwill. Because when the time is right, you're going to be the option that comes in their head first. And you want to make sure that you're capitalizing on that. Maybe you've started introducing a high ticket offer or your main service to them. And in the future, they might be interested in an intro offer or a lead magnet that you provide. But the bottom line is don't ignore people that say they're not interested now. Put them into your CRM, which is a customer relation management system that you can nurture people over time and send them more relevant information and keep them updated on what's happening. And this will help you convert a lot more people, have a more sustainable pipeline, and not start from scratch every single month. Number 19 is underestimating customer feedback. And I've been a victim of that. When I first opened up my location, every single member had an idea of how we should run our business, which is normal. And a lot of the feedback we disregard, and we did it for good because some of the stuff that the clients are saying that don't make any sense. But there's some clients that have said some stuff that are really, positives that we could do to improve our service, and we disregarded them. And a month in, that affected us in a way where we had to, lose over, I think, nine or 10 members in a day because they all were chatting over an issue that we're experiencing in our facility. And we solved that issue. I called them one by one to explain how we resolved the issue, and it's not going to happen again. And we appreciate their feedback. But often I see business owners not having a way to get member feedback systematically, not sending surveys regularly and periodically, not having one-on-one chats with their clients and even staff, not having suggestion boxes, not having exit interviews with members. And if you're not having those, you're going to be losing a lot of members. And especially if you're doing in person where all these members can chat to each other, if one person complains over something, it's going to escalate and blow up. And we don't really want that. Now, number 20 is not tracking wins and case studies. And I've spoken to a gym recently. They've been in business for 15 years or so. Seems like they've been doing great. And they say, oh, we have tons of results. Our customers love us. And I open up their Google profile and I see 32 reviews. I'm thinking to myself, like, dude, you've been in business for 15 years. So that means that you're getting 2 reviews per year. The average gym has 150 members. And if it's a big box gym, and these guys were doing like, I think 250 members, something like that, they only had out of the probably 800 members they're getting per year, 2 reviews, which shows you that if you're not documenting your client success stories and results, new members are gonna think you're not the real deal online, because nowadays for you to be able to rank on Google and the search snippet and to be on top, you gotta have a minimum of 100 reviews. Depends on the area, of course, but if you're in a competitive market, it's even more than that. So if you don't have a way to systematically track wins, case studies, and get those and then integrate them into your marketing, you're leaving tons of money on the table, because it's a super easy referral traffic that you can get. First, through tagging the members that got the results. Second, through showcasing those to existing members, using them in your sales assets. But make sure you have a regular cadence that within a time period of people being part of your program, gym, whatever, you have a way to generate reviews, do client interviews, do a podcast with them, just a way for them to share their experience with you. Number 21 is thinking they know when they don't know. And this is a very common one, especially because we're in an industry where there's a lot of people that are not great marketers. There's tons of agencies out there and tons of young kids providing services to health and wellness businesses. And many of the health and wellness business owners, they come to us and they say, oh, I've ran ads in the past and it didn't work. Or I've tried this in the past and it didn't work. And it's okay. If you're not getting results from something, means that you're not good at it yet. Are there people that are getting results from it? Yes, they are. And also sometimes they would look at something from one angle. They could have terrible offer. They might not have any positioning online. They might have 3.4 reviews on Google. And yet they think that advertising's magically solved their business. There's usually a more complex issue underlying. It could be your mindset, but having that mindset of thinking you don't know is not serving you well. And sometimes ego gets in the way, especially in the health and wellness industry, because we're usually like a testosterone driven freaks. We're used to coach our clients around and boss them around. And when it comes to business, that's not serving us well. So you want to make sure that you're fully aware and know and recognize inexperience and accept the beginner status always, because the world is evolving. Things are changing all the time. There's 19-year-old kids that know more about certain social media generation tactics than I do, even though I've been at it for a decade, and that's okay. I just have to learn from them and be okay to accept that. And that's the only way to achieve consistent results. And that's the only way to adapt and evolve and change your offering. Number 22 is overestimating their sales and offer when most business comes from referrals. I see this especially with gym owners because they have built a tight community and they say, oh, we're amazing at sales. We have an amazing offer. Without realizing that their current business entirely is built on referrals, and they simply do good work and get new clients word of mouth, which is great, but it only gets you to a certain level. At a certain point, you got to expand and you got to reach out to cold audiences that have no idea who you are, have no idea what you offer. And the only true test of how good your offer is to have an effective cold advertising strategy. And that's when your sales ability is put to test. That's when your nurturing ability is put to test. And if you're not getting results successfully through that, it means that you don't have a very good sales ability and your offer is not ideal. So you got to change and adapt. But again, this comes back to the previous point where you got to get your ego down if you want to move to the next phase, because the market doesn't care. The local people in your area, if you don't have a good offer or a good service, they don't care. So if you're growing through referrals, at certain stage, you're going to see limitations in you to convert to cold traffic. And this is when you're going to be faced with the harsh reality that it requires a lot more sales skills and a lot more nurturing and a lot more skills in general to be able to successfully convert cold traffic and onboard them. And for online, you can multiply that by 10 because there's no trust there. At least in your physical location, they come down, they see you, they see that you have a real facility with services that you offer, and there's some members at least. So it makes it a little bit easier, but online it's super hard. So you got to be dialed in. Number 23 is copying their competitors blindly. Just because you see somebody doing something, no matter how big they are, they might be blowing up on social media, they might have $1 million facility. Just because they're doing something doesn't mean it works. and you don't often know the details. And just because you see somebody doing something, don't immediately go copy them. I often see this with local business owners. They price themselves just as much as the competitor down the street because they think that's the number the members would be willing to pay for, because they think that everybody knows that the gym down the street is paying X amount. And if we charge more, all of a sudden everybody's going to go to the other location, which is not the case. And you always want to make sure to evaluate the competition. Make sure that they're winning with what they're doing first prior copying them. And the way you do that is by evaluating. And are they competent? If they are they too advanced? Meaning what stage of their business they're at? Do they have hundreds of locations? Are they Planet Fitness where they're placed completely different than the typical health and wellness business? Do they have a team that's helping them execute on those strategies? So you want to make sure that if you copy somebody, they're at a similar level to yours and they're winning with the strategies they're implementing. And if they're not, just simply avoid copying them. And analyze what are the current actions that brought them the results to get to the level you're at. Don't look at the actions they're doing now because they might be too far ahead and it wouldn't make sense for you to copy them. Now, these are the 23 mistakes. I added a couple ones that are bonus. Hope you found this video helpful. You can comment down below what are some of the mistakes that you're doing currently in your health and wellness business. And if you have any ideas of future content you want to see, just drop that down below. And in case you want to get some help, there's a couple of ways I can help you. First, with Digital Wellness Partners, we offer a partnership opportunity where we can either do some things for you in order to grow your business through our program, whether it's paid generation or installing systems to help you nurture prospects at scale. We can help you do that. We have a coaching program to install some of the systems so you don't bang your head against the wall. We've implemented and tested those in our own locations, but also helped hundreds of others do that effectively. Second, we can help you through WellGrow.io, which is my software company where we specifically work with health and wellness business owners to provide the automations, the structure, the artificial intelligence technology that can help you automate some of the functions within your business to effectively provide a better service on the fulfillment, on the acquisition end, on getting more members. We're talking AI chatbots, voice assistants, AI fulfillment, like super cool stuff. And if you want to check out any of that, there's going to be links down below. And again, appreciate you watching and I'll see you in the next video.